Hey Isaac, so you had a question on kind of getting the quadratic formula and other complicated, obnoxious bits of math into calculators. So let me show you with this example. So for this one, we're given some information. We're able to write expressions for the length and width, and we got down to this area formula that we set to the 183. And then I think you got to here, and then that's where it sort of got frustrating with the calculator. And then after that, once we get the length of this side, it actually was asking for the diagonal. So we'll go back and we'll do Pythagorean theorem. But let me show you the calculator steps and kind of how, basically, I kind of do a combination of simplifying the expression in the places it's easy to do so, and then letting the calculator do all the stuff I don't want to do. So it's sort of like the laziest possible approach, but it works pretty well. So here is what the math would look like, all written out for the quadratic on this problem. This is totally proper and exactly what we're supposed to do, and I would never ever type all that because that would be super painful. So what I did when I came down here was I said -9, so clearly we could call that a 9. I'm dumping the negative one because the 9 minus this chunk of stuff is going to give me a negative number, and it's a rectangle, so I'm not going to get a negative number. So I do the plus there. -9 squared, I know that's 81. I don't need to type all that into the calculator. I can just type in 81. Minus times minus, that's going to turn into a plus. So I'm putting plus instead of that in the calculator. 4 times 2, I know that's 8. I do not know what 8 times 183 is. So I'm going to let the calculator take care of that. And then I'm going to have to divide all that. And instead of doing 2 times, 2, I'm going to just call that a 4. And then the trick is if you're trying to type this all at once, you have to do the whole numerator in parentheses and the entire denominator in parentheses. So if I wanted to type something like 3 plus 2 divided by 9 plus 1, I would have to type parenthesis 3 plus 2 divided by parenthesis 9 plus 1. So you have to have everything in the top and the bottom in parentheses, or it doesn't know what's your numerator and what's your denominator. If you just typed it straight in, you'd actually be typing 3 plus 2 over 9 plus 1 if you typed it without the parentheses. And this is usually, that's right where everyone has all the trouble. So that's the spot to kind of look for problems. That said, what I do is I actually just try to minimize as much as I can how much I have to type the parentheses. So let me show you how I would put this in the calculator, just to hopefully make it make more sense. So I am going to kind of purposely forget these parentheses because I do it all the time on accident anyhow, and then I can show you how to avoid having to always use those. So 9 plus, we got square root of 81 plus 8 times 183, and then close parentheses. So if right now, if I divided by 4, I would only be dividing the root. I would be missing the 9. So either I'd have to go back and put parentheses around the whole thing, or I can just hit equals and have it total it up for me, which seems way easier, and then go divide by 4. And then there's my answer right there. And so then this is what we would be putting into the Pythagorean theorem to get at that D up there. So what I would do then is I would say, if you haven't met the answer key, like I said, this one is great. This one would go answer squared, and then plus, and then here I am going to use that parenthesis, so 2 times that same answer, I'm just copying it over, minus 9, and then close the parenthesis and square it. And so this is going to equal the squared, so I do this, and I get this, so this is like 375 point whatever equals D squared, and now I'm going to root both sides. So I can just go root and then that same answer key, and now it's copying this number up there for me. So this is a really handy key. And then I got 19.37 whatever for the diagonal. But this thing is great for copying stuff around when you're using kind of ugly decimals like that. Hopefully that helped a little bit.